Remember this?
So I announced this morning that I am suspending my campaign for president. I say this with a deep sense of gratitude for every single person who got in this fight, every single person who tried on a new idea, every single person who just moved a little in their notion of what a president of the United States should look like.
Elizabeth Warren was the last woman candidate standing in the last presidential election, and so the challenge remains. What do we say to our daughters? To our sons, we might be able to say, you can grow up to be anything you want to be, but do we tell our daughters if they want to be president, they'd have a better chance if they were growing up in Israel or Pakistan or the United Kingdom, Finland, New Zealand, and many other countries that elected their first woman head of state many decades ago? Joining us now is NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ali Vitale. She is the author of the new book, Electable: Why America Hasn't Put a Woman in the White House Yet. Ali, thank you very much for joining us tonight. This is the book that I've been waiting for. I need this answer. What do we tell our daughters?
We tell our daughters that it's coming, because truly, after going on this exploration for this book, from the moment that I stood in that crowd outside of Elizabeth Warren's house in that clip that you just showed, all the way through the moment that I actually put this book into production, I do feel optimistic that this country is closer than ever before, in large part because both parties have finally caught up in filling a pipeline with potential candidates who are qualified and who can win. It's why the title of the book is Electable, because frankly, for all of these women who are running, they are electable if you vote to elect them. And frankly, that's the last hurdle that we have to overcome. Simpler said than done, but I do think that we're closer than ever.
You know, when Hillary Clinton was running, I used to listen to people say, I just had a problem with her. And the problem could be Bill Clinton. It'd be something that was peculiar to that candidate. Yeah. Then those same people, when Elizabeth Warren was running and Amy Klobuchar was running, I was hearing the same thing from them. And there was no pre-existing condition for them to, in any way dislike about these women candidates. And it actually, it left me less hopeful than before.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens, right? I talk about this idea of there being just something about them that we often hear from voters and other people in this orbit as women candidates run. And it was especially striking in 2020, I have to say, because of the way that you look at 2016 when Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. I know that's not the way we elect presidents in this country, but it certainly is a metric of figuring out if the country was ready to elect a female president. And certainly they were in 2016. And then you look at other polling data from 2018 after the blue wave, and then you look at it in 2019, it looked like the moment was ripe for female candidacies, but then you started putting names on the line and political personalities behind them, and all of a sudden people started finding things that they just didn't like about these female candidates. And part of the reason that I detail these moments in the book of female candidates somehow falling into the invisible traps of just campaigning for president the way that men have done for decades, part of the reason why I call these moments out is because once you see them as sexist and gendered, it's very easy to disrupt the narratives. And by disrupting the narratives, it levels the playing field a lot more. And so the thinking being, when you go into 2024, 2028, and all of these upcoming cycles, it will allow a more level playing field for these women who are running, and they will be running. And so I think that that's a really important metric for us, because in the same way that we hear just something about her for female candidates, one of the parallels that I lay out in the book is when you look at people like Beto O'Rourke or Pete Buttigieg, talented politicians, but certainly voters always used to talk to me about some intangible, just something about them quality in a positive way. And it's hard not to see that phrase as indicative of a larger structure here that's tilted against against female candidates.